What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and we all know that there are certain groups of people that, well, you have to be a special type of person to be able to criticize. I admit the optics of, for example, a white person criticizing, I don't know, the family life or the upbringing of a black person is doesn't necessarily negate what they're saying, but optically it does make their message harder to be heard if they are right. The same goes for like straight people criticizing LGBTQ issues. Again, you can be right all you want, but the optics are difficult to overcome. One of the most prolific or one of the hottest topics right now on Twitter and on the internet is exactly what's going on with these teachers or these clinics that are altering people's bodies while they're very young. There's a word, the G word, no longer can really be said anywhere. And one of the biggest nightmares for kind of this woke ideology is when somebody that they worship, in this case, the LGBTQ community, criticizes them. The worst nightmare of this, like the G movement, we'll say, is a group of LGBTQ people criticizing it. And that's exactly what has happened through the group known as Gays Against the G Word. And these are a coalition of LGBTQ people, as far as I know. The couple I talked to definitely are, and their Instagram is full of it, that are full of people who will self-identify as such and criticize this insanity going on with the youth today. This particular group, we'll just call them G Against G. G Against G has been repeatedly banned off of Twitter. Now, some people say it's simply because they had the G word in their Twitter file. And by the way, you say, Jeremy, why do you censor yourself? Because this message is very important. And if I just say the G word, somebody, Susan over at YouTube's happy and more people see the video. If I go all out, it gets dinged and less people see the video. So this particular group, G Against G, has been around for quite some time. They have a pretty prolific Instagram following, to be honest with you. Pretty impressive. There's 122,000 people following them. They have several videos, lots of videos and pictures on here. Doctors talking about why, you need to wait till you get older. My opinion on a lot of this stuff, it aligns with them. Essentially, I've said on this channel many times, live and let live. True adults, as long as you're not infringing on anyone else's rights or hurting anyone else, live your best life, 100%. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Enjoy yourself, be happy. If you want to, people get into extreme body modification. There's that guy he was in on the X-Files, who he was had his whole body. I don't care what you do, but I think the general consensus is to leave the young ones out of it. Well, what's been interesting about this particular group is it seems like one that you really would have a difficult time silencing, right? Because of who they are. We know that progressive Silicon Valley worships the LGBTQ community. So this puts them in a hilarious spot. And this particular group, G Against G, they are in a unique position where you're not allowed to shout them down. Essentially what happens is, let's say I'm basically the worst of all. My opinion matters the least on the internet. A straight white male. Ooh. But there are very few things that I can speak on that can't get easily shouted down. It doesn't mean what I'm saying isn't true, but it does mean that they can easily shout you down. When you have a group of LGBTQ people saying, hey, look, we're part of this group that we believe have been co-opted, which is, in my opinion, what's happened, that the LGBTQ community has been co-opted by some bad actors, and they use it as a shield. And they say, hey, we're LGBTQ, you can't tell us what to do, but we're going to tell kids that they should go to this clinic and they should do this stuff. And here's all these weird TikTok resources where grown adults are telling, hey, you don't need to talk to parents. You can do this. I mean, I just did a short on that yesterday. The gender doula this person goes by or whatever. They're saying, hey, here's how you can get around your parents. Here's how you can get around your insurance requirements so that you can make sure you can go do body modification. You can slice parts of your body off before you're 18. I don't care if you can go fight for this country. You can go. I still think 18 is too young to make that kind of permanent decision with your body, but I can't have an opinion on it because you can go fight for your country. You can go do whatever you want. That's why I still think that drinking age should be 18, but that's neither here nor there. So the G Against G group has been around. They have a website. I talked to the founder of the group last night. Very nice person. And I said, hey, what can I share? So they have this gagainstg.com, their website with all their social on it. Essentially, you see, we oppose, the body modification and medicalization of people who are too young, drag and pride events that involve people who are too young, this type of gender and theory being taught in the classroom, and propagandizing youth with LGBTQ media. I mean, does anybody in like the middle of the road actually disagree with any of this stuff? No, it's a pretty mainstream opinion. But what happened yesterday is that suddenly we saw that PayPal and Venmo, PayPal owns Venmo, permanently suspended the group. This on top of later in the evening being banned off of Google. This on top of multiple Twitter bans, half dozen almost. It's curious that you see such a coordinated, this is the thing. It's like, man, if they go after the LGBTQ group, what chance do us boring cis people have against Silicon Valley? PayPal, Venmo permanently suspend G Against G. We have been banned from PayPal and Venmo within minutes of each other for, quote, violating their user agreement. Now, they didn't tell them, oh, you have to change your name. This is something in particular that we don't like. No, they just banned them. The GAG organization has been permanently suspended from payment processors PayPal and its subsidiary Venmo. This is the problem with all these, monopolies form, right? Super easy to deplatform somebody. First, you start with their money, then you take their platforms. Both companies' reasons state that they did so because the organization's activities are not in accordance with the processor's user agreement. Okay, what does that even mean? Posting on their Twitter account at 2:47 a.m., GAG wrote, we have been banned on Venmo and PayPal within minutes of each other for violating their user agreements. They don't state what in their user agreement we actually violated. This comes just after they announced on Twitter that the organization officially registered as a nonprofit and can now receive tax-free donations. I'm sure they're totally unrelated, right? I'm sure them saying, breaking, we have just been banned from Venmo and PayPal within minutes. We are an organization that consists entirely of gay people whose only mission is to safeguard kids. Woke homophobia is real. Well, we see this all the time with the woke crowd, right? Like if a black individual comes out as conservative, what do they do first? Question their blackness. They're probably doing the same thing with members of this group. Oh, you're not really LGBTQ. You're less LGBTQ than me because you don't support, teaching this stuff to kids, apparently. The Post Millennial caught up with GAG founder Jamie Mitchell. That's who I talked to last night, too. She gave the following statement. PayPal and Venmo have made it abundantly clear that they support this type of stuff happening to kids. This would never happen in an organization of LGBT people that fell in line with the evil agenda that has hijacked our community. That's kind of why I thought this was going. That's what I mean. Like, you're talking about 0.001% of an already small community, and when they try to like oust these people, they're told to stay in line by big tech. This is just the latest attempt from big tech company trying to silence right-leaning accounts. I don't know that GAG is particularly right-leaning, but okay, I don't know that to be true. Maybe they're not. Maybe that. Who wrote this? Was it? Okay, Sarah Higdon. I don't know who this is. No disrespect. I just know a few writers there. Humble brag. Latest attempt tech company. In August, biologist and journalist Colin Wright was banned from PayPal and Etsy. In March, political commentator Cindy Watson was permanently suspended from Patreon. With the company citing, quote, hate speech, Watson has reported on, obviously, these medical procedures that are being done on people that are too young. Patreon admitted that violations of their terms of service leading to the suspension don't have to occur within the Patreon platform. There have also been a number of alternative sites being created for right-leaning accounts to switch to as part of the growing parallel economy. GAG announced that they've begun using GiveSendGo as their primary means to receive donations. GAG is a coalition of gay, lesbian, bi, trans people who are tired of seeing their community being used in order to promote this kind of stuff. Since their founding 3 months ago, GAG has exposed family-friendly drag events, quote-unquote, children's hospitals who are taking, ruining people who are way too young, brought up indecent books that are in the children's sections of libraries, and much more. They have faced suspension from Twitter 4 separate times with no reason given, each time the page was restored within 24 hours. In a short period of time, they've amassed 215,000 followers, done 25 interviews, including Tucker Carlson, which is where they were last night, begun building 30-plus chapters in 5 countries, and have become the target of left-wing media group to attack. Mitchell said that they will not be going anywhere anytime soon because this will only serve as motivation. Just like, and by the way, you can follow them on Twitter and Instagram, and I recommend you do, because they bring a lot of things to light. Obviously, their website is a good spot because they get banned all the time. You can see they're smartly on Getter, and they're on Truth, they're on TikTok, they're on everything. And, this is a group of people that, obviously, I don't know if I would be wearing oh, okay, what's on your hard drive? Like, these are okay shirts. I was wondering if they said GAG on them. I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if I could wear that, but like maybe I could get an honorary groom dogs, not kids. I like that. That's a cool shirt. I'll get that. I'll get one of those. Anyway, it's interesting how big tech is mobilizing. And by the way, after being banned by PayPal and Venmo less than 24 hours ago, we have just been banned by Google. Big tech is coordinating a massive attack on an organization that's just trying to protect kids. This is insane. Oh, I mean, this is not a coincidence. More people like GAG, more people like Libs of TikTok, more people need to take up the mantle and get out there and start shining a light on a lot of this stuff because it's really important. Definitely support them. We are now in contact in DMs, so she can reach out if she needs anything. But, I thought I'd do my part for the Streisand effect. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you support new tech. If you do, leave a like on this video wherever you're watching. Are you watching on Rumble? Are you watching on BitChute? Are you watching on Odyssey? Are you watching on YouTube? I don't care where you're watching. I'm glad you're a part of this conversation. Make sure you subscribe and leave a like there, and we'll talk to you again real soon.